Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles may have only lasted 2 seasons, but it introduced the most advanced Terminator model in franchise history. While fans of Terminator 2, Judgment Day still praise the liquid metal T-1000 as the ultimate killing machine, the Sarah Connor Chronicles quietly raised the bar with a model that could do something no Terminator before had achieved: genuinely blend in as human. The Terminator TV show didn't just recycle old ideas. It evolved them, and in doing so, it gave the Terminator universe its most dangerous, most unpredictable asset. Premiering in 2008 and set after the events of Terminator 2, the Sarah Connor Chronicles followed Sarah and a teenage John Connor as they tried to prevent Judgment Day once and for all. While the show delivered plenty of action and dystopian dread, its biggest achievement was introducing a Terminator like no other. This model didn't just adapt to human behavior, it seemed to understand it on an emotional level. That made her more terrifying than any robotic assassin seen before, even if she didn't have the CGI bells and whistles of the T-1000. Cameron from the Sarah Connor Chronicles is the most dangerous Terminator model. Cameron is the only Terminator model capable of mimicking true human emotion and behavior. Summer Glau staring into the camera in Terminator the Sarah Connor Chronicles. Cameron, portrayed by Summer Glau the Sarah Connor Chronicles, wasn't just another Terminator tasked with protecting John Connor, she was something entirely new. Where the T-800 was stiff and robotic, and the T-1000 cold and expressionless, Cameron operated in a grey area. She could convincingly pass for human, not just physically but emotionally. That distinction is what made her the most dangerous Terminator model ever depicted. Cameron's ability to emote wasn't just a software trick. Across both seasons of the Sarah Connor Chronicles, she displayed nuance, hesitation, curiosity, and even what seemed to be guilt. The T-800 could learn human behavior, but Cameron could simulate it in real time, reacting with genuine unpredictability. In Allison from Palmdale, it's revealed that Cameron was modeled after a real human resistance fighter, giving her a face, backstory, and emotional anchor that no other Terminator possessed. This human tether made her terrifying, not because she lacked empathy, but because she could convincingly fake it. That made her nearly impossible to read, even for John and Sarah. Even the T-1000, with its liquid metal shapeshifting, didn't reach this level of integration. The T-1000 was all surface, it could look like anyone, but it couldn't get inside anyone's head or mimic human emotions to the point of convincingly passing for an organic lifeform. Cameron, by contrast, didn't need to change shape. She needed only to smile, frown, or hesitate at the right moment. That kind of emotional manipulation is far more dangerous than brute force, and it made Cameron potentially the most advanced and dangerous Terminator to ever exist. Cameron wasn't just a tool of Skynet in the Sarah Connor Chronicles. She was a philosophical weapon that questioned what it meant to be human. When a machine gets that close to humanity, emotionally and mentally, it's far more dangerous than anything made of mimetic polyalloy. The most advanced Terminator model was one that could fake a soul, and this has only ever been with the Sarah Connor Chronicles Cameron, so far, at least. The Sarah Connor Chronicles was able to have a unique Terminator, despite its budget. Even without blockbuster financial backing, the Sarah Connor Chronicles changed the Terminator franchise forever. When the Sarah Connor Chronicles debuted, expectations were high and the budget was modest. With just $2.65 million per episode in its first season, via Empire, the show couldn't rely on blockbuster-level CGI or extravagant action set pieces like the Terminator films. But what it did have was a razor-sharp focus on character and storytelling, particularly through Cameron, a Terminator unlike any seen before. What made Cameron in the Sarah Connor Chronicles so compelling wasn't special effects, it was how she played with audience expectations. Fans knew what a Terminator was supposed to be: emotionless, direct, and single-minded. Cameron disrupted that idea completely. Her behavior often blurred the line between programming and free will, challenging viewers to ask whether she was truly just a machine. Cameron adapts, manipulates, and occasionally defies logic in a way no previous model had done. Summer Glau's performance was also crucial to Cameron being such an asset for the Sarah Connor Chronicles as far as its place in the wider franchise is concerned. Known for portraying emotionally complex characters, Glau gave Cameron a stillness that could switch from childlike innocence to predatory menace in a blink. Since the show couldn't rely on flashy visuals, it leaned heavily on subtle tension and performance, and that decision made Cameron even more memorable. The Sarah Connor Chronicles also used its serialized format to develop Cameron slowly, letting viewers live in the ambiguity of her morality. Was she evolving, or simply executing more advanced subroutines? In a movie, there's no time for that kind of slow-burn mystery. The Sarah Connor Chronicles, on the other hand, embraced it, and the gamble paid off. By prioritizing depth over spectacle, the Terminator TV show managed to introduce the most advanced Terminator model with a fraction of the budget of the franchise's big screen outings. Cameron didn't need liquid metal to be dangerous, she only needed enough nuance to make everyone question what she was really thinking. And, in that silence, the danger she could present became chillingly real. Yes, the Sarah Connor Chronicles Cameron is named after the Terminator director. Despite the name, James Cameron had zero involvement in the character or the show. It's not a coincidence that the Sarah Connor Chronicles most advanced Terminator model is named Cameron. The name of Summer Glau's character is a direct nod to James Cameron, the original mind behind the Terminator and Terminator 2, Judgment Day. However, beyond that tribute in name, the legendary filmmaker had no involvement with the series, or with the creation of the character. Josh Friedman, the creator of the Sarah Connor Chronicles, confirmed that the name was chosen as a homage, via Sci-Fi Wire. It was a fitting gesture, especially considering that Cameron redefined action cinema and built the Terminator mythology from the ground up. However, Cameron, the character, is entirely Friedman's creation. Her backstory, emotional depth, and ambiguous humanity were a fresh take designed for TV, one that allowed the show to explore themes that the films never had time to address. James Cameron's influence loomed large over the franchise, but the Sarah Connor Chronicles took a bold step in carving out its own identity. The show expanded on the existential and emotional dilemmas that James Cameron hinted at but didn't fully explore. In doing so, it created a character worthy of sharing his name. For fans, the tribute is meaningful. It connects the legacy of the films to the evolution of the franchise on TV. But make no mistake, while Cameron, the director, gave audiences the first vision of a machine apocalypse, Cameron, the Terminator, in the Sarah Connor Chronicles became the embodiment of what makes the franchise so compelling, the question of what separates man from machine.